Hey everyone, I'm Colette and welcome to my channel Witchways, and today I want to share with you a super simple, easy to do summer solstice invoking ritual to bring in what you need. You can also do this ritual anytime during the summer months. I hope you enjoy. Okay, don't get me wrong, I really love doing a long, elaborate ritual that takes me deep into the mystical realms and gives me insights about the nature of the cosmos or my personal practice. But some years I'm just really too busy, or I just really want something simple to be with the land, the season, and make an offering. So that's what this ritual is designed for, a really simple practice, again, that you can do at any time through the summer months to call in some of that summer energy. And you can feel free to change this ritual. It's not one that has a lot of complex components. Make it more authentic and personal to you so that it's meaningful when you do it. Before I jump into that ritual, I'm going to share a little bit about summer solstice and the summer season and its magical associations and properties. But if you know all that already and want to skip straight to the ritual, I've timestamped this so you can just go ahead and do that. Summer solstice is the peak of solar energy, and it's a good time to call on the sun's power for anything you want to draw into your life. It's all about invoking, bringing in, and expanding. The sun rises and sets the furthest north that it ever will during the year, and it also is usually the longest day and the shortest night, although that event might be the day after the solstice or the day before, depending on what region you live in. In England, summer solstice is referred to as Litha or Midsummer Day. The deities that are associated with this holiday are Anya, the Irish goddess of love, wealth, and sovereignty, Freyr and Freya, the Norse god and goddess of summer sun, light, and abundance, Uslad in Russian, Lad and Ladobog in Slavic countries, and Lado and Oslad in Ukraine. The magical associations of summer and summer solstice are health, abundance, wealth, expansion, strength, fertility, and success. You'll need to collect a plate or tray, 5 tea lights, and 5 different herbs. I'm going to give some recommendations on herbs that you can use if you want and talk about their properties, but you can use any herbs that you have a resonance with, any that are associated with fire, any that are associated with the sun or summertime, or ones that seem to be at their peak right now, or ones that just intuitively call to you and say, pick me, pick me, pick me. This is how I do this ritual. A little bit before sunset, I clear my space, and I like clearing for this holiday and in summer in general with herbs that are associated with the sun or fire. This time I'm going to use rosemary and St. John's wort. They're both really strong clearers. They're fire herbs, and they're also very protective. If you want, you can make a whole altar for yourself and be more elaborate that way if you're so inclined. But this year, I'm just going to use a spell plate that I like. You can also use a large platter or a tea tray. To start, cast a circle and call in a deity if that's part of your practice. You can use one of those deities that is associated with the summer months, or you can use one that you work with regularly. That choice is up to you. Then put on your spell plate, your tray, or your altar 5 tea lights in a circle. Each of these candles is going to represent something that I want to invoke into my life, or a magical property that you might want to invoke. For this example, I've chosen health, success, abundance, strength, and expansion. You can also change these properties to be something that are meaningful for you. Think about what you want to invoke for yourself during the summer months. Next, I work with herbal magic, and I've picked 5 herbs. You can change these as well. Use what resonates for you. I've chosen chamomile to go with health, cinnamon for abundance, oak for expansion, rosemary for strength, and bay for success. Then as you light each candle, just place a pinch of the herb near it or in a small circle around the candle if that feels fire safe to you. And you can start by saying something like, I call on the power of summer solstice to bring in these things that I desire. You can also just say, I call on the power of summer if you're doing it not on the summer solstice. And I like to name the herb and give the quality that I want to invoke into my life. Something like, I call on rose for love on this time of summer with the magic of summer or summer solstice. This is a really fluid ritual. At some point, you could choose to say something like, and I light these candles to honor the summer solstice, or I light these candles to honor the power of the sun, our nearest star. You could also just use one herb instead of 5 different ones. Pick an herb that you really like, and every time you light a candle, just add a pinch of that herb next to each of the candles that you light. You also could have a cauldron with some burning charcoal in the center, and every time you light a candle, just add a pinch of those herbs as you speak the intention of what you want to invoke. You could also add 5 stones, especially golden colored or yellow colored ones, to add some stability to the spell if you want. If you want to keep it simple, once all the candles are lit, you can just take a breath and watch the sun go down and wait for the candles to burn all the way out. Or if you want to make it a little more complex, you could visualize those qualities that you're trying to manifest and invoke into your life, pouring into your body via the 5 points of the human pentacle that you are. And those points are your head, your 2 hands, and your 2 feet. You could also just sing or write in your journal, visualize, meditate, whatever you choose to do. For this invoking spell and ritual, I really prefer to let the candles burn all the way out, which could take a while if you have tea lights. So if you need it to take less time than that, you can use birthday candles or chime candles, both of which will burn pretty quickly. You can adapt this to be a longer group ritual by inviting people to each bring 5 herbs or 1 candle that they're going to place pinches of 5 times around the candles, and then start by doing whatever your group does to start a piece of magic or a piece of holiday celebration. And then one person can either light all the candles, that can be one person's role, or you can take turns, each person lighting a candle if you're a small group. And then everyone goes through that same process of putting down a pinch of herbs next to a candle and saying what they want to invoke. And you might want to have a phrase or a hand gesture of some kind of support. It can be as simple as doing this with your hands just to make it so, or drawing a pentacle in the air with a circle around it. And then you can feast together while the candles burn out and wait for the sun to go down. Whether you've done this solo working or you've done this with a group, at the end you can earth the energy by putting your hands on the ground or the floor and letting the energy return to the earth that you called up. Thank the spirits you called and take down your circle if that's something you did. And I just want to say again, this is really easy. All it is 5 candles, 5 pinches of herbs, and speaking an intention for each candle. It's super simple. So that's it. Let me know in the comments if you would like more simple rituals for witchcraft celebrations. And if you're interested, sign up for my newsletter for seasonal magic and witchcraft tips, or support me on Patreon for getting even more content. It's really what allows me to do this work here on YouTube. Otherwise, I just simply couldn't do it. So until next time, stay safe and be well.